I'm desperately fragile.
He's connecting. He changed her?
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
What's up, everybody? Season 1, episode 7, the season finale of Interview with the Vampire. When I started episode 1 not too long ago, I felt like 7 episodes was so short, but I felt like I've lived centuries with these characters at this point because it was so smart to make each episode have such a time skip because of their elongated lives, and we went from decade to decade and watch how the story advanced, and each episode packs so much. There's no wasted comments, there's no wasted line, there's no wasted scene. So like I literally feel like I've been with these characters for so long, and that 7 episode kind of like worried me a little bit after episode 1 because I felt how good it was. But thankfully we have season 2 that I can still catch up on, and I saw there was a teaser for season 3, and the moment I saw it I just took my eyes off it because I don't like even the smallest hint of spoilers. Even the fact that Lestat looks blonde there, I just took my eyes off like real quick. Like I do not want to know nothing about that. We're at the end of season 1, and I just want to say thank you everybody that's been rocking with me on Patreon, rocking with me on YouTube, all of you that have been enjoying my conversations and my commentary and not thinking this man is talking too much or whatever some people say. I just want to say thank you. These episodes, they've taught me a lot about how I look at people, about how I perceive people, about patience, and some really dark topics as well, trauma and stuff like that. This was very great. So I just want to say thank you for like rocking with me and having fun. The fan base of Interview with the Vampire is very welcoming. Like I was talking my friend's ear off about watching this show, and he started watching episode 1. So I'm gonna drop his stuff in the comments so you guys can go check it out. It will be on the pinned comment, and we talk on the phone all the time about this show, so I'm happy to share that with him and like many more of my friends. Like I already told you guys, I told my wife about episode 1 the second I finished it. I ran and gushed to her about it and all that, and we still joke about that till today. Last episode was very heavy. It tackled like some of the darkest facets of being a vampire and that dysfunctional family dynamic that they have, how hurt people can hurt people, and how sometimes you just want to be done. I mean, for the fact that Louis considered like, ending it, but he didn't want to because he didn't want that to mark Claudia's leaving. Obviously, we learned so much about Lestat and how he was basically tortured, like turned and left high and dry, watching his maker like get burnt, and him basically have to figure out the world by himself. Louis had help because like Lestat was there like fledgling, I think that's the word, like training him and all that. Claudia also had an assistance by both of them, but I can only imagine like Lestat just being out there on its own. Like that would make you a wild motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? So and obviously everything that went on with Claudia, there are beautiful moments of her wanting to leave with Louis but having to say their goodbyes. I think that almost got me to leak a little bit. Like it was so sad and so touching, especially him telling her that you don't need me anymore, like you can take care of yourself, and that beautiful embrace that they shared. And of course all that came crashing down with Lestat going to stop her and basically pressure her to come back, threaten her to come back, actually by using some of the darkest things she's experienced as a weapon against her. And yeah, they want to end him now. I don't know if that's possible. I'm worried for them because we all saw what Lestat did to Louis last 2 episodes. Imagine what he could do to Claudia, but maybe 2 of them together, something. I wish there was a different way out of this, but let's see where the story takes us. Thank you. Long intro done. Let's get into the season finale. Boy, I know this is about to be hot.
Go ahead, have your fun.
Oof. Is that even possible? Is that even possible? And this recurring theme of them losing themselves more to be like him. Session 7. What are we eating today?
Can an immortal meet mortality?
Can they die?
How?
Several ways. Deny the body the blood. Conversely, drink the blood of the dead.
Oof.
Is much my first night reborn.
Is he considering it?
Decapitation. He confided that to me one blood-drunken night in Baton Rouge.
Decapitation.
But could it be done by us? Could the children murder the father?
Interesting.
In possession of ancient powers that have been passed on to his progeny only in a diminished form.
Exactly.
We were compelled to sleep in the same chamber together again. He would have it no other way. Locked together in hatred, he would have it no other way.
God. I mean, it almost seems like he's done pretending at this point, right? Because after what the conversation between him and Claudia in the train, I'm like, oh, like all the veil is gone, right? It's like so sad. Not just for Claudia and Louis, but even for Lestat, because like, you know, he don't want to live that way. But it's almost like it's only through fear and just that he can like get them like to be like that. Because we all know he would rather be going to operas with them, having a good time, eating, banging, doing all the like, you know, fun stuff, living, actually like living their lives. So I'm sure even this is even not what Lestat wants, but that's the situation, the ugliness. Get to it.
They don't know. They're the fountain.
They are. Strategizing.
They may be nasty little beasts, but they do have excellent tailoring.
Well-dressed tyrants. Where have seen that before?
Ouch.
We invite the most beautiful, the most gluttonous, seduce a choice few for a feast to remember.
If only you... Down.
I want them suspicious. I welcome it. Everyone in costume, everyone drinking.
The hunger would be transcendent.
A meal fit for a king.
And they know Louis likes to indulge. I said Louis Lestat like to like overindulge sometimes. Can these work? And at the back of my mind, I can't stop thinking like Lestat is just too smart. Like he could already be onto them.
You want the mister?
In public?
Seeing as it's been 17 years since we've spoken, what makes you think I give a corn-peppered shit? Not in the party planning business. 2, it's January. Circa 1910. Can you tell me, little girl, what's wrong with this picture?
They haven't aged.
Him?
Careful. What's on that? Names?
Shipping coffins from port back to Europe.
Shipping and manufacturing.
Took a torpedo in the rear from one of the Fritz's U-boats. Would you like a new one?
Oh, he likes the sound of that.
Where do you meet the devil? And what are the terms of the agreement?
So done deal. Oh.
We're swollen with a paralyzing brew of laudanum and arsenic
Oh my God.
by the sun-hot ego of the vampire king.
God damn. If this plan works, it's like Lestat might even weirdly be so proud of Claudia because she's exuding a lot of the qualities he hoped and wished Louis would embrace. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where when the villain or the bad guy, quote unquote, is defeated and still like tips their hat off to the person who got them, like, that was a good move or something like that. And the fucked up sad part is that all these their months of preparing might have been the happiest time of like Lestat's existence, because like everything is finally working. No fights, no nothing. They seem like they're gelling, they're in love, completing each other's sentence and whatnot. Like just that slow false sense of safety, which is quite ironic, you know, because like that's how Lestat got Louis. Right.
Made it so you could hear the sniping and whatnot across the way.
Interesting. Jesus.
It's a good joke. And now that you have your boat, don't you want more?
Is someone watching them?
The king's hair has betrayed the king.
It has.
Was that a witticism from the Duke of Gloom himself?
Hunger's got me lightheaded.
Nice wigs, honestly, both of them.
The damp climate on every painted sign, every stone facade, high windows. Wandering out to catch a silent flash of lightning. The sucky warmth of summer rain, desperately alive. And desperately fragile.
He's connecting.
Boutonnieres have all been given out. Ready when you are.
The boy just wanted to reminisce a little bit. And Louis shut those doors down immediately. Let's get on with it.
A last dance before the feast.
I'd like that.
Louis is fighting it, but he can't help himself. His biggest fear.
With all myself.
I believe it.
I'm happy with you.
I believe it.
With me. Au revoir.
Au revoir. I believe it. She's gonna use his blood. That is. And obviously this is so hard for like Louis, because I don't think Louis falling so hard for him at the ball was part of the plan. Like that was genuine. So one could say from the whole story, this last moment, you could argue was like one of the most genuine feelings or moments of love like Louis has ever had for Lestat, right? Because at this point, he's darn near intoxicated with like Lestat and his love and their vampire bond. You know, to the point where like Claudia had to literally like bite him like, hey man, come back to reality. I might be wrong or not reading it correctly, but Lestat. And I believe him when he says like, I love you, I've always loved you, like I'm happy it was you here. Shit is painful, man. And it's like, is this whole idea, I mean, if this is the end of Lestat, is this whole idea of like, I think for me, there'll always be like a level or a space for, of empathy for even some of the like craziest people I've ever encountered. Cause it's like, that is just my goodwill into the world to create that little, no matter how little space of like empathy or grace for this person, because there's always a chance that someone can find their way back to the light, you know? And obviously it's not on me to like forgive that person or anything. If the person haven't done anything to me, that's on the people they've hurt. But like, because even after after doing what he did to Louis, dropping him from the sky and all that, it's like it took time. It took 6 years, but with all his gestures and his genuine apology, like Louis still left that little bit of space for him to come back, and he came back and did some shit again. But there's just that like sadness there that like in his eyes he was probably doing the right thing in the only way he knew how to, and now he's ending like this. Shit is sad.
The whites of his eyes were him. This horror that had been Lestat.
Just gone. Wow. Oh, that's the other chick.
And cleaned up the evidence of our most elaborate kill.
I was just gonna say, them watching it together just brought me back to the first time Lestat made Claudia look at her boyfriend in the fire, and just the contrast here and her holding his hand.
We need to burn him.
Uh-oh.
No one out.
Loved?
Just load him in like he's one of them.
Oh, wow.
We wrapped him in a carpet. We threw him in a trunk and left him out with the garbage.
Hello?
Ready to begin the adventure of our lives.
Well,
Wow.
isn't that neat and tidy?
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, but she didn't say that explicitly. I mean,
Oh, David.
I was haunted by my brother's death, by the abandonment of my sister. I bled him like a pig and waited for the death rattle.
you were shot point blank by an alderman. You were dropped 1,000 feet and survived. Where does the trash go, Louis?
David Molloy is a G, and I can't believe I haven't sung his praises enough this season. But the whole thing about Louis being an unreliable narrator and how sometimes trauma makes you look at your past through a lens of you wanting to frame yourself less as a victim, or it just being your brain trying to protect you and all that. It's like David is so real that like there's so many instances I can mention of how he almost like pull Louis down to earth when Louis is going on some of these like tangents or like explanations, and he just grounds Louis. It's kind of like when people say, hey, you need me around to kind of keep you humble, you know, or like ask those questions that Louis' trauma or his views are not helping him see, you know. And I love David for that because he's so real. He's like, I think he's almost like us, the audience, like kind of asking these questions that like Louis might not be necessarily ready or prepared to offer up. You know, now I appreciate David Molloy like a lot. The whole thing about Lestat, the whole romance of it, and the whole it almost like takes like real life scenarios and push them to the extreme, because maybe a real life analogy of this is like maybe you finally getting the guts or the courage to like, you know, call the cops on an abusive partner, or, you know, record them and give some damning evidence to the police or your lawyer or something like that. Is like someone you loved but also went through so much abuse and trauma and different stuff from, but like someone who loves you or someone who's in your corner, in this case Claudia, being the one to push you to the point where like you want to do something to take that person down. And obviously there's a big conversation here to be had about how little the police actually does, unfortunately, a lot of times when there's domestic violence and abuse and stuff. And let's not even bring up freaking, I shouldn't say all that for YouTube before this video gets demolished by YouTube, but you know what I'm saying? Tough stuff. And yeah, I think growing up and like learning why, assuming or even thinking to people going through abuse, why didn't you just leave, was such a stupid question or such a tone deaf thing. You know, it makes things like this, like sometimes it's just very like, feels like you can't escape. This is so interesting. This is definitely giving finale vibe. I'm loving this, and please always feel free to like drop your knowledge on me in the comments about some of these things I'm saying or might not fully like understand, because like I always look forward to absorbing as much as I can without spoilers or hints at the future. That'll be appreciated.
They take the trash to the dump.
Mm-hmm.
Big f***ing rats, the size of Kevin Durant's sneaker. You had to. The biggest rat eater of them all.
This session is over.
Wow. He was giving him a chance?
And you, a wet t-shirt away from 130, doesn't even blink.
I couldn't burn him.
But Claudia could.
Mm-hmm.
The girl did not have a f***ing problem tossing him on the grill, okay?
You did.
The only way we'll know.
No! I said no!
Wow.
Take your hands off her.
You chose Lestat over her time and time again.
No way.
'Cause why? You got some story you want to tell the whole world about yourself?
Jesus Christ. He's digging deep. I didn't even know this was coming when I said like holy shit. Cause when he told him like you had to have known that. Like throwing him in the garbage, like he would find sustenance. Like you have had to know that. So Louis was giving him a chance. I get why. It's just,
This time I won't save your life.
Yep.
Always have. Stopped him that night in San Francisco.
Really? Wow. So obviously Lestat survived. Obviously. But now we kind of know how he survived. Because Louis gave him a way out by sending him to the dump with rats as big as Kevin Durant's sneakers. Lots of blood, lots of sustenance. Wow. Like his whole like montage of, I gotta watch this again.
Especially one in a trunk with locks on the inside. You knew it.
The trunk with locks on the inside, because that's a specific one they got. Basically gave him a way out, Louis. What the f***? Again, I understand why. Man, this outburst, this final performance by Molloy, chef kiss. Oh, wow. So many thoughts, man. Wow. Honestly, don't know what to say.
But could it be done by us to him? Could the children murder the father?
And I was thinking, cause my first thought when he started vomiting, I'm like, did they switch the twin? And like, I'm like, did they switch the twin? Was he gonna go out for the wrong twin, or it happened way too fast? It was confusing as hell, but thrilling at the same time. But no, it was Claudia that got the first twin. Because even when everything started getting reversed, I was like, did Louis like put whatever poison in his lips or something when they kissed at the ball or something? Like different things were just popping in my head, but nah. The most arrogant person in the room that I've been there since episode 1. Like they knew to like get into Lestat's vices of like punishing people that he feel disrespected him. You know, same thing with the tenor from the opera house. He felt like that tenor getting this stuff wrong was like a personal insult to him. And obviously here too, like he's the first one he went for.
The love of my life.
Provocative season 2.
Can't wait. Can't wait. And the crazy thing, obviously hearing the creator of this show talking about it, I wish I didn't know that part about Ahmad from the books being like the leader of the coven and all that, but that was so interesting. That was so interesting. Like I said, I have no words. Just a few takeaways. Louis, obviously there's more to this story that will flesh out everything. There's that. Amc, powerful vampire, love of Louis' life. Where is Lestat and where is Claudia? Because it makes sense that Louis tore those 2 pages out of the book because Claudia was pissed at him because they refused to burn Lestat. Beautiful season. Beautiful season. This is the most engaged I've been in a show in a while, because it's like, I mean, I'm watching a lot of really good shows right now that I absolutely love. There's just something about this that's so captivating, maybe because it's like the vampire aspect and the like supernatural aspect. Like, I love shit like that. But it has so much realness and so much humanity and so much flaws and so much mystery. So good. Thank you all for watching season 1 with me on YouTube, on Patreon. I appreciate it. Don't worry, season 2 will come right on schedule. Right on schedule. I post 2 of these a week on Patreon, so yeah, I'm not taking a break or anything. Season 2 is coming right after. You guys have an absolutely wonderful day, night, evening, and please, let's keep the book talk, spoiler talk to like a 0, because I'm hopping right into season 2 and hopefully season 3 when it comes out. Thank you guys. Take care.